Jerusalem has fallen, Antioch rises. God wills it.
Standing for over 300 years since the destruction of Antioch in 1545, the sword and the shield of Europa and Africa,
There we go.
The Principality of New Antioch, is the first line of defense against the forces of hell, and the only thing standing between those forces and the conquest of the entirety of the Levant. Following the destruction of Antioch, the Sword Congress of Vienna resolved to reconstruct and strengthen the city in the year of our Lord 1559, establishing a yearly tithe to be sent to New Antioch by all loyal nations. However, this tribute is seldom monetary. Instead, it comprises a continuous flow of provisions, tools, ammunition, weaponry, machinery, and skilled labor from across Europa, the Mediterranean, and the African territories. The city functions under the governance of the Office of the Propagation of Virtue. Although they are lenient towards the soldiers of the city, they otherwise ruthlessly prosecute any infraction of church doctrine. The weekly executions of heretics has become a grand, highly attended public event as a result of this zeal.
That's just bad.
Within the city's techno-laboratories, the church diligently works to forge superhuman disciples, known as communicants, by using the cloned flesh and blood of Christ to endow them with extraordinary powers. Holding the title of Duke of New Antioch, and therefore emerging as the nominal supreme commander of all of the faithful's armed forces, is an unparalleled mark of honor and prestige, with the current holder of the title being Duke Constantine. Although he is the supreme commander of the faithful, most international troops fight under the command of their own leaders, but the army of the Principality is still the single largest fighting force against the forces of hell. The Observers are an order of warrior monks who spend almost the entirety of their lives within the Temple of the Word, where, in absolute solitude, they sharpen their minds to become the ultimate weapons in the hand of God. Only when the need arises are they summoned by the Synod of Strategic Prophecy. These observers wear helmets that are called Oculus helmets, which allow them to attune to the voice of God. This allows them, to a limited degree, the ability to perceive past, present, and future simultaneously. However, the unending reverberation of the divine echo—
Wait, is that like the Doctor Strange thing where he did this, thing with his face and he could predict the future, and then he could only saw like one future where they would actually win?
In their ears makes sleep unattainable, compelling them to rely on powerful sedatives and mind-altering drugs to endure the grueling demand of their battlefield duties. The Observers rigorously refine their recitation of the words of God, endowing them with the authority to command both allies and enemies alike. Their specially crafted helmets enhance the Holy Word's power, compelling any creature to obey their commands, if only briefly. Even the smallest lapse in their focus can cause them to lose the voice of God that guides them, leaving them as vulnerable as any ordinary soldier. As the war against hell raged on, the faithful encountered a nigh impossible problem to solve. Due to the supernatural power of the gate to hell, the vast majority of individuals could not approach it, meaning that the faithful could not take the fight against hell to hell itself. In order to combat this, the church began a secret program, intended to create warriors of such physical prowess and internal holiness that they could undertake missions within the very depths of hell. This program was named the Paladin Program, creating members of the Mentalist Order which are imbued with the blood from the Metachrist program. Although we aren't entirely sure
what's it? Okay, we get everything, but what's this Metachrist? We're gonna have to look for it in a future episode or something.
What the Metachrist is. Communicants are described as having consumed the cloned flesh and blood of Jesus Christ, and
that explains it. But
therefore, it's safe.
Wait, stop. How did that cloning come about? Definitely gonna have to look into that story.
To assume that a Metachrist is a clone of Jesus. Paladins dwell in hidden cells within a secretive wing of Castle.
IRL. The only source would definitely be either A, the Holy Grail, or B, the Shroud of Turin. That might be the only source of the actual DNA of Jesus Christ. Unless there's something else. Should brush up on that.
Sant'Angelo, until the Council of Saints summons them for battle. When their time arrives, they leave their isolation, proceed to the arming chamber, and kneel on the mosaic of the militant Christ the Lion. There, they
Militant
are equipped
Christ,
and
the
armored
lion.
by blinded and gelded serfs to prevent any impure gaze or desire. After being briefed on their mission by one of the cardinal generals, they receive the last rites in advance,
Gelded
as
serfs.
no task is more perilous than war within Gehenna itself. Initially, there were 12 paladins, but only 9 survive today. 2 have perished in battle, and rumors suggest that one may have turned coat, though the church fiercely refutes such claims under penalty of death. Despite relentless attempts, the Holy Mentalist Order has failed to create a single new paladin in 3 centuries. Each of the 9 circles of hell presents a unique and hazardous environment, ranging from toxic fumes and intense heat to frigid temperatures far below freezing, necessitating specialized armor for each circle. When a paladin ventures into the gates of hell, they face the grim reality of succeeding alone or perishing, since no one will be coming in to assist them. Because of these risks, paladins are deployed on direct orders from the Council of Saints and are used with extreme caution. Lieutenants lead small squads or platoons within New Antioch's forces. Lieutenants are often the scions of noble families, or have achieved their rank through...
So I'm assuming we are looking at the equivalent of commissars, and then the paladins are as space marines?
exceptional skills on the battlefield. Beyond their leadership duties, lieutenants are also tasked with procuring new weapons, equipment, and supplies for their units, which often involve scavenging from the battlefields of no man's land or raiding local settlements. A sacred warrior who tends to the spiritual needs of the soldiers in the unit, the cleric recites uplifting battle prayers and can perform miracles like healing or striking down foes. The cleric typically carries a portable shrine on his back, symbolizing his devotion to the company's patron, whether it be one of their homeland saints, a powerful archangel, or the Lord himself. These followers of the church practice ritual blindness as an act of devotion to God, relying solely on their faith to combat the church's enemies. During the siege of St. Lux, there were tales of a sniper priest who, despite his blindness, managed to eliminate a target from a distance of 3 miles.
In World War Z, in the original novel, the role of priests in Russia devolved into basically executing those who were bitten. If I remember correctly, the army, that particular army's policy was that if you were bitten, you wouldn't turn immediately. There'd be time. So that person is responsible for basically unaliving himself. And then this one priest stood up, you know what, you will not suffer that sin. I will do it for you. They were the ones who executed those who were bitten so they wouldn't suffer the sin of, self-unaliving.
Miles. Standard troops of New Antioch, these brave men and women have undergone basic training and pledge allegiance to the Duke of New Antioch.
Here we have
While
the regulars.
They may not possess the advanced combat skills of elite forces, their sheer numbers and diverse array of weaponry compensate for their lack of specialized training. Assault troops who excel in breaching enemy defenses, specializing in swift, aggressive attacks and close-quarters combat. They are adept at integrating various combat techniques and using fire team strategies effectively. Combat engineers focus on demolishing bunkers, locating minefields, and constructing battlefield
positions. Do they all come in a single set?
They are equipped with close-range weapons and reinforced steel armor. Despite the high casualty rate within their ranks, they view it as a privilege to serve and sacrifice for New Antioch and the church. These heavily armored soldiers are tasked with handling the company's heavy weaponry. Chosen from the elite ranks, they undergo substantial chemical enhancements to boost their combat capabilities.
Of course, there would be chemical enhancements.
The Sisters of St. Cosmos are an elite medical unit with advanced training, specializing in providing first aid and performing surgeries directly on the front lines of the Great War. The Sisters pledge a modern version of the Hippocratic Oath, which requires them to assist all injured soldiers of the faith, regardless of the severity of their condition. Equipped with a combat surgical knife that also functions as a misericordia, a tool historically used by battlefield medics or surgeons to quickly and humanely end the suffering of those who are beyond saving. They are skilled in both saving lives and ending them, for those found wounded in no man's land. They carry medical kits stocked with a wide range of battlefield medications, effective at alleviating even the most severe pain and helping soldiers return to the battlefield.
Here comes the war bands.
The Papal States forces, which answer to the Supreme Pontiff of Rome rather than the Duke of New Antioch,
so I'm assuming this is these guys came from Italy.
Specialized missions, such as tracking down and neutralizing high-profile heretic leaders or retrieving spiritually significant artifacts. They are commanded by warrior monks and priests chosen personally by the Pope. What we know in our world as Ireland, Ire is a bastion of the church and a staunch adversary of the forces of hell due to relentless and destructive raids by the heretic navy. The Emerald Isle has suffered from famine, been devastated by the Black Grail, and faced a full-scale invasion targeting the renowned House of Manuscripts, which house
IRA Rangers? A bit on the nose? The boys of the old brigade!
Houses many sacred texts. After enduring a century of fierce battles against the invaders, the warriors of Ire have become experts in guerrilla warfare. The elite warrior hunters of Ire are often viewed as godless troublemakers, but their skills as skirmishers make them valuable recruits for war bands that journey to New Antioch to combat the enemy. These warriors display grisly trophies, such as the skulls of their fallen foes, in a manner reminiscent of their pagan forebears, much to the disdain of the church. When the poet King O'Connor sends his renowned rangers to support the Principality of New Antioch in lieu of paying the annual tithe to Vienna, the Duke eagerly accepts these formidable fighters in their place. When there is a requirement to neutralize a formidable enemy stronghold or launch an assault on a particularly formidable defensive line of trenches, the Duke of Antioch frequently relies on the renowned shock troopers units from the Free State of Prussia. These elite forces are frequently tasked with missions from the princes of the church or the high command of New Antioch. Admission to this elite unit is determined entirely by merit. Applicants must be exceptional athletes, under the age of 25, unmarried, and have demonstrated remarkable aggression on the battlefield. Shock troopers have the highest casualty rate of all Prussian soldiers.
Of course,
these new recruits swear the following oath: to each his own, to me, death. Originating from the Scottish Highlands, these individuals come to New Antioch seeking glory, absolution for their
to each his own, to me, death? I honestly don't understand.
Sins, valuable loot, and direct combat with devil worshippers. The heretic submarine fleet persistently attacks the kingdom's shores, abducting their young to be sacrificed at the dark altars of the archdevils. Feeling a profound animosity towards the forces of hell, their British neighbor's fleet and its renowned mobile fortresses are focused on defending their own coasts, and this leads to friction and resentment from their northern neighbors.
And that was it for Antioch. Thank you for watching, guys. Now, if you want me to check out other stories here on YouTube, please let me know in the comments. We upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard. Please like, share, subscribe, do the whole notification button thing to help me out with the algo. And don't forget to check out our Twitch channel where you can catch me do this live. Now, class dismissed.